Syrup go the Ness here. So really, really smart play by Syrup to not even test fate here, but it will be Sola versus Syrup as we're starting off here in winner semis on Battlefield is actually going to be the pick.
I love this complete change of pace here from Syrup because at his last major, his last major where Steve was legal, Santa Paws, he did not go Steve into Beast Mode Paul and typically just kind of stuck to Pokemon Stadium 2. I like this where you lost to Beast Mode Paul, one of the best heroes around. The Ness is certainly the direction you want to go in. Time to take advantage of what Ness offers you. High airspeed, vertical combos, and a prolonged advantage state that has netted Syrup 110% to open this game.
Can't be sleeping out on Sola, though, while taking a lot of damage within his first stock. Going to be able to start doing what Hero does best, but I like the consistent pressure. Syrup, the up air right below the ledge, is actually going to be taking first stock. Hasn't taken too much percentage just yet, but I want to see Sola start using a little bit more of that side special. There it is, to start spacing Ness out a little bit more, but double up tilt into the up air. And now we're back into just this jump around neutral.
Yeah, we're really playing super passive here at Sola, but that's kind of his mark and his claim to fame across the Jersey scene. Like, he's always ready to play it slow and use Hero's natural explosiveness to make sure that he's making up for the dividends of other players. And I mean, Hero literally exploded. What do you want from me?
Now, here's the thing, though. Sola is actually going to have to start playing a little bit more aggressive here because you don't have MP. You want to start swinging here, but this is the green light for Syrup. Here we go. Jab, 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 though. Going to get a little bit more, but now Syrup coming down with the ledge with the back air. Forward throw, like the pick here, but of course, just the bounce, but that actually gives away, and that's actually super unfortunate for Sola.
So the PK Thunder ball, that's the projectile. That little trail, physical hit, unaffected by bounce, allowed to intercept Sola before he was able to go for his recovery. That is such a cheeky angle there from Syrup in order to stuff Hero's recovery out, and then jumping straight over using the full hop to get around that flame slash. Man, Syrup's maneuverability has been so good against Hero's more linear kit.
Yeah, absolutely. Still, though, finds the Nair, looking for the Zapple once again, but Syrup going to use the air drift from Ness. Down smash 3 times won't be enough. I actually really enjoy how Syrup has incorporated up tilt into his gameplay. We haven't really seen that. I haven't really seen the Syrup Ness in quite some time. I've mostly seen the Steve, but I like the way that we're using up tilt a little bit more to try and pick up our opponents from the ledge. There's the back throw. It's not going to be enough, so once more, it will be Sola rolling the zoom, just going to top platform and resetting to neutral, but not before Syrup comes back on stage already for this edge guard. We'll find the yo-yo, and we'll find game one.
I want to touch on what you were bringing up a little earlier.
Sure.
Syrup and up tilt and the ability to catch jumps. Something that makes Hero so difficult to play as a character is sometimes you have a really difficult time holding your zone. If players aren't really respecting you just like pulling up menu and having these bevy of spells, it can be really difficult for Hero just to consistently keep you away from it. He has to use a lot of like up tilt and jump nair. But if you're going to be spending a lot of time like jumping and doing nair or falling forward air, that's when Syrup comes in with those anti-airs, with those up tilts or with those jump up airs as we saw in the first stock, just to completely shut that down and make Sola afraid to move at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good stuff. I want to say, though, just from what I'm noticing in the neutral here, I feel like Sola's always the one swinging first, and Syrup is the one reacting here. And I think if I'm Sola, right, I want to play it a little bit slower to the fact where I can start reacting here. But I like the air dodge back to stage by Syrup to get back into position here. PK Thunder is going to connect, and there's the forward air. So now Sola is just now going to get stuck in the corner, but we'll be able to jump out and jump away, but we retreat to ledge. That's actually where Ness wants you.
Oh, yeah. Forcing Ness to just pin you in the corner. The zoom, thankfully, gets Sola right back to center stage. But Ness having that these insane buttons. Like, I can't... Oh, you're gone. Oh,
no.
Okay. You know what? If he crit, though...
If he crit, though? If he charged, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, but it is going to be the Swoosh that actually sends Sola above the ledge, doesn't actually grab on, and that allows for Syrup to line up with a back air here. So now Syrup still looking pretty good on this game number 2 here. 72% though, but once again, what I was going into right before this game started, it was the fact that Sola is swinging first and Syrup is just punishing, right? So that tilt was punished as well, and now Syrup actually lapping Sola here trying to find the zoom, will be able to, as you are going to draw it more likely as you are closer to the blast zone here. So now Sola using the up B out of shield, but unable to find anything else.
Yeah, it's been just stymied, honestly, from so many different angles. Luckily for Sola, we are in best of 5 territory if he does want to try out another one of his characters. But right now, this hero is getting shut down first and foremost at this ledge. Like, constantly abusing resources, forcing Sola to make these guesses, losing all of those resources. The down air!
It's great tech, but it does not matter. It was such a great tech by Sola just to like at least land on the stage. But once again, it's just the fact that I hate to say it, I need to see Sola play a little bit more lame, right? We want to just go out, throw out the Zapple, wait for Syrup to swing first, because all of this is just on Syrup's reaction to what Sola is doing, right? So honestly, unfortunate yo-yo there. But it's even more unfortunate about what happened a little bit earlier, right? The jump is punished. The air dodge is punished. Everything is punished here by Syrup. Hits the down air and will be and like tries, but probably an accidental like moving of the control stick to the left instead of like using up. You would have been able to recover
doing
there.
like drift in up B as opposed, but just getting zapped instead. That is unfortunate, and that's what I was talking about earlier, Lyric. Like, we know if you play enough against Sola, you realize he's so good with a lot of these just like purely fundamental and spacing-based characters. He has a Byleth, he has a Corrin, he has a Marth, he has a Lucina by extension. So going the Corrin here as a chance to try and frame trap this floatier character to oblivion and keep Ness off balance with your massive and consistent juggle game, as opposed to Hero's more inconsistent but explosive output that he can put out.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how you said earlier by like proxy you have this secondary tunes, right? It's like if you have like a Zelda, you also have a Palutena. If you have like any like sword character, you also have a Lucina, because that's like fundamental swords. This is already going so much better for Sola though, but honestly I actually just think Sola is playing it a lot slower than previous games here. So instead we're waiting for Syrup now to throw out that hitbox, and then we're punishing with that Nair, because the Nair on Corrin is just so big.
Unfortunately, doing this down 2 game. Oh, hello. Trying to go for the reset on the platform. I love how Syrup's like advantage state mind works. He's always looking for the extra damage and what he can do off of an individual hit, utilizing this top platform to great effect to keep Sola off balance. But the forwarder gets him out, and we're back to this air-to-air scrapping game. So many full helps coming out from Sola, just waiting for exactly that Lyric, but the up air is not going to take out the stock.
No, super close. Great air dodge onto stage by Syrup here, trying to line up to get something started. And this is what we need to do in order to get Corrin out of here, right? We need to punish the pin animation before Corrin goes to just swing herself forward. I like how Sola's trying to get into position here, going for the F smash. It's not going to be enough. Syrup, though, finding a beautiful landing forward air, but goes for the back throw, actually, just to mess up. Still, PK Thunder just throwing Sola around, and the way that Syrup has been able to recover here has been massive, but there's that pin, and there's going to be that stock.
Yeah, getting every little piece of that overshoot forward air from Syrup, trying to catch the Corrin dashing back, but instead the pin is able to close out that stock. Let's see the back throw. Absolutely going to take it from the drive down forward air. Hey man, it's been doing it for like 20 years. They've been doing it.
Back kills? No way. That's like my favorite thing ever. You see a Steve hit like diamond back, you're like, no way. That did like 80 what?
They pressed the backwards aerial button.
Once again, though, I just have to like accent it. I just really feel like Sola is playing so much more patient now, and it's coming out to like really work out for them. Still, though, finds the forward air. Syrup now actually trying to like play off stage a little bit more. Corrin's recovery can be a little bit more limited in the way that it does recover here. Yeah. So finds the landing forward air, finds the Nair. I'm surprised he didn't go for the down air again, but it didn't work the first time. So you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, maybe trying to manage the percents a little bit differently, trying to see what Sola does on these tech options for maybe keep information a little bit later on.
Yeah.
I do like how you've been talking about just the preemptive nature of how Sola's been swinging, like controlling a lot more of that pace, utilizing Corrin's much, much larger buttons and generally better confirmed game. Makes a huge difference from here. No, you did not just give that up. He got everything and the chicken sandwich. Holy...
Oh, no. Sola, fight back!
Why did you do that?
Oh, man, that one's got to hurt if you're Sola, right? I mean, this game has been going so well, and now Syrup lying lining up for side magnet back air just feels so bad. Nice nair through the PK Thunder, though. Sola will be fighting back with an onslaught of aerials here. Doesn't catch the air dodge, though. That is huge. So that allows for Syrup to actually get into position here for the edge guard. Looking for the roll read. Will be able to find it. The back throw with no rage on it. Not going to be enough here. But the PK Thunder is always so close to gimping Sola here. And look at Syrup. Just has to line up. But great pin by Sola. And you know what Syrup's looking for. A back throw at this point will definitely do it. But Sola chasing down really well.
And he's not going to be able to. I like that up-tempo there from Sola, spending so much time trying to play on the back foot, trying to focus on like a high-percentage juggle game. But the reason you stick with Battlefield, it's 2-1, by the way, production.
I was about to say the same thing. I'm so glad you pointed that out.
The higher, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a moment. The higher step on the platform and what makes Battlefield typically so good for sorties and juggle characters in general is
Sola shook his head.
He knew.
And he was like, man, I got to get this game back now. And he did. That's the impressive part, right? Like, he was able to maintain composure. That goes to show why he's definitely one of the best in New Jersey, able to maintain composure. And then now you're reacting. I feel like Smash sometimes is like a battle of reaction, right? Who is able to react to each other first? Who's able to adapt to each other first? And Sola with the character swap. Oh, speaking of character swap, can't be the hero of New Jersey for too long.
No, not quite. But this makes sense if you're Syrup. Yeah. Like you have the swap of a hero, a matchup you don't like, to this Corrin, which is, while not exactly like a hard counter pick, we've seen what Corrin can do at top level for the past like few months at this point, particularly against Steve. But it's something that Syrup is a whole lot more comfortable in, playing against a multitude of Corrins.
That was so smart, Ubel. That was so smart. Actually trying to land onto the block. But honestly, this first stock was going so well for Syrup. And now Sola's actually going to get back onto stage here. 119, though, you are at a very dangerous point. There's the forward air. You can see what Syrup is doing. Like, trying to just block off Sola from recovering because of Corrin's, you know, lackluster recovery, if you will. But there's the back air catching on the nair. That will be Syrup going up 3 stocks to 2.
I want to touch on that a little bit because we've been seeing like that as a phrase like around in general, and it's certainly true for a lot of characters if you have the ability to edgeguard Corrin reliably. But some of Steve's more potent edgeguards with these blocks are able to be fought through thanks to Corrin having that large hitbox on both wings, fighting straight through both blocks and getting to ledge. Hello! You countered the Anvil and it still hits?
So smart, though. Anvil, like, stays active forever when you really think about it. Like, it really just forever. Like, we have seen so many clips of just Anvil just staying active for, like, quite possibly 4 to 5 seconds. But great pin by Sola. Honestly, I'm loving the Corrin play from Sola. I like Sola's hero a lot, but I just think the Corrin just feels very controlled. It feels very paced. There's not a lot of bad habits that I can just like immediately pick out from it. I think he's being very patient, but of course Syrup with these diamond tools now is going to be a little bit tougher. And I like how we have the back too, so we think we're going to throw out a back air, but we're actually throwing out the down air as a mix-up.
There's infinite traps that Steve can go for. And honestly, Syrup has spent a lot of time trying to get better at so many of the more technical setups, missing some of the extensions from the pick loops there and getting caught out for these roll. Oh,
same.
Bro.
I felt that.
I was hearing it. I was feeling the vibe. The Corrin was...
It was moving. We had a lot to talk about that set.
It was doing solid. And Corrin, as well as a meta character, has been doing so much better because you're not really relinquishing anything, like a jack-of-all-trades type of sortie with some really good upsides, but nothing's positive about an SD, and so that's going to be...
to end the set, too. Like
just, you know, L plus ratio.
Yeah. It happens.
It happens.
Good for Sola, though. The Corrin definitely got a little bit of the spotlight, and I really enjoyed it. So really good stuff to Sola. Definitely still in this bracket. But as projected, Syrup will be going on into winners finals to be fighting the winner of our next match here. I do believe it is a certain Jackal going up against Web JP. I can tell you one thing already, Ubel. It's going to be a good set.
Oh, yeah. Just two of the most stalwart competitors in like Jersey. Like, honestly, like they're competitors.
Yeah.
Like, if I may use the same word twice. They're
competitive competitors.
And in a way where they're both not always competing against each other or competing for victories, but they are actively and consistently competing against themselves.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the best thing about fighting games sometimes is watching two players just grow to be local legends to national threats. And you can absolutely see that in Smash Ultimate with Web JP.
Yeah, Web, of course, coming off of a hot run at Let's Make Big Moves. Unfortunately, dropping off at 9th.
That's two Let's Make events, by the way, in a row. He's gotten 9th. Pain.
Bro is so tired of the number 9. I gotta say though, Web is a pleasure to watch. There's nothing more exciting than casting a Web set with somebody who doesn't get to see Web very often. So it's like, I know that. I know that's going to connect. And they're like, shout out to Favs. Favs is like, oh my God. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Monday night. This is Monday night for WebJP. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how this one's going to go. Like you said, Ubel, when you think of New Jersey now, you think of course you think of Tweak. Of course if you know, you think of DeBuzz, right? Who now lives in New Jersey.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, bro is not the king of New York
bro,
anymore.
Why did you clip that?
I just had to say that, man. But Web, JP, and Jackal, these are I believe your scene's two hardest grinders right now, if you will.
I would put Syrup up there as well. Syrup plays plays a lot online.
For sure. Yes. Yo, like I said,